What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to your favorite show. Zachariah, it's been a while, man.
It's now tank
How's it going?
season.
I don't have a tank on. Call me out all you want. I don't. Zach, how the hell are you, man?
I'm good. I've had enough time to, go through your whole back catalog of videos to find references like tank season. I've been, obviously obsessing over Animal Crossing and the announcement or lack of announcement. E3, our first kind of, I was going to say our first E3, but we weren't there. Maybe we were. Maybe we just were just cuddled up the whole show. Nobody would know. Last time we did Nook Talk, people were wearing masks, and now it's a whole different world. So things have changed dramatically in the last 5 weeks, but we are back on the attack, and there's. Oof.
I don't even. Hold on. I'm going to check when the last episode. This is
May
episode
14th.
39. May
14th.
Okay. May 14th. And still nothing new. Guys, it's going to be spicy. This show is going to be scorching, okay? I have a new mod now, Zach. Amelia wasn't a mod before. Like, we're changing over here. Zach,
I have a new mug, if you want to see.
New mug?
Someone took my hair and put it on Mario.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Well, it kind of freaks me out, but I also love it. So I'm it's a little bit back and forth.
Oh man. Already with the questions. You want to start the Q&A early? Let's go. Emmy, thank you so much. So I have a question. We'll start with this, then we'll get into the main.
All right.
If the pandemic never happened, how well do you think Animal Crossing would have sold? Do you think we'd get more substantial updates and we'd not have moments like E3? Oof. They're starting spicy too. So what are we at for sales right now?
33 million.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dougie gave us that. Without the pandemic, how far do you think that number changes?
10 million.
You think it's only at 10?
No, I'm saying I think it's 10 million. I think it's still a 20 million seller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it did get a lot of like, oh, we have nothing else to do. But I have to imagine that a good chunk of these people still would have played. And, there's we're approaching 100 million Switch owners. It's probably around 90 million right now. You got to imagine that 1 in 5, roughly would have picked it up. Right now it's like 1 in 3, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the pandemic is why Animal Crossing is successful. I think the pandemic is why Animal Crossing is, what do you call it? Like a wonderkind or like a crazy words. They're tough. By the way, I just went through my closet because I might be moving, and I saw my Nook Talk shirt or my NintenTalk shirt, and I was like, ooh. Giveaway, keep. Giveaway, keep.
Giveaway.
But I kept you, Pat. I kept you, man. I kept you.
It's the pink one too, right?
Yeah, it's the bright pink one.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I got to agree with you. I think 15, 20 million. The second part, do you think we get more substantial? I think the roadmap doesn't change. I don't think the pandemic. I think right now, maybe the pandemic stuff is coming into play, but yeah, pandemic or not, I think the roadmap of updates still,
at least for year one, it would have been year one. I think would have been the same.
Yeah. A little bit later, Zach, the closest poll in Nook Talk history.
Oh my goodness.
So I finally
I was
did
surprised
it
by the poll. I think the answers will be shocking.
Yeah, so we're going to discuss that. First off, let's discuss E3 a little bit. We're going to be talking not just about Animal Crossing. Overall, how did you like the show?
Every expectation eviscerated. That's what I'm calling it this year instead of the Electronic Entertainment Expo. I mean, I think Nintendo still delivered a fun show, and that's kind of our focus here. But in general, this was just, dang, there's definitely a pandemic because it just, some of the companies probably shouldn't have shown up. Capcom had nothing. Square Enix, I think Square Enix forgot that it's not 2012 anymore. I liked Ubisoft show. We watched that. I talked to you about that, but some people were sour on that. It was really a Xbox, Nintendo kind of carrying the entire show. It's still like a fun time. So many people talking about it, so many announcements, so many reveals. Like, I wish every day was like that. I wish we got 10 trailers every day. That'd be fun. But Nintendo's Direct, to me, it was missing that super heavy hitter like a Mario Kart or a new big Mario game, or even a Breath of the Wild 2 with a release date. It just felt like there is a hole and it's just not filled because the pandemic. But I saw your list. You posted a cool list, like what games you were gonna buy, what games you were, gonna check out, and what games you weren't, and pretty much everything they announced on the first party side, you're picking up. So that's successful. I mean, Mario Party looks better each time I see it. I know you're pleased with that. And then
Mario Party's great. It's my only thing about this E3. I'm mostly gonna focus on Nintendo. The games that I am interested in, besides Metroid and WarioWare, it's just old games. Like, well, I hate this. I love and I hate this trend. Like, it's just bringing old things, making them look new again. Like, you're not really. Advanced Wars is coming back, like, as the same thing. So
it is all about the cash, and they have found that they can capitalize on repurposing stuff. I mean, I'm not a replayer, I'm not a rewatcher, so this is my least favorite strategy. But I will say, like, to point out Mario Party Superstars, that is being optimized. That is at least adding online. It's kind of reorganizing all the mini games, and it's, I said on my channel, like, I don't think Nintendo knows how to make a good Mario Party anymore, so this is probably the best option is to go back to the past when it was good.
Scarlet with the 5, thank you so much. Hey, Nintendaddy and Zach Bay.
Oof.
Okay. I've been tweeting at Nintendo regarding the current issue on the new update and nothing. Any news on a fix by chance? Is that the Switch?
So the recent Switch update, the most recent was 12.0.3. It was put up, it was pulled down, which they've never done, and then it was put back up, and people are still having issues. And it's a download issue where they can't re-download their old games off the eShop, and they can't download new games. They have no fix. Customer support has no fix. The website has no fix. People are finding some success by just re-downloading, clicking 6, 7, 8 times. But as of now, there's no official fix. I'm going to be talking about it more tonight on the channel, but a bunch of websites picked it up today. So I'm hoping that with Forbes picking it up and Kotaku picking it up, like, I'm sure they're working on it, but hopefully there's more urgency. It sucks. I have a lot of people who have messaged me and said, like, I can't grab anything.
I'm pretty sure I downloaded that update. So I gotta try it, man. I haven't bought anything in a little bit, but yeah, that's
it's unacceptable. But
so we have the Mario Party, we had WarioWare. Any thoughts on the Animal Crossing update that was announced, or
caught me off guard for a second. It's like, what world are we in? Deja vu. Yeah, it was like, and I don't mean to. You're going to throw some shade, I'm going to throw some shade, but I feel like you convinced me that it was going to be at E3. Because if you recall, a couple episodes back, I was like, it's not an E3 thing. It's not an E3 thing. And then the more you talk about it, I was like, okay, your logic makes sense. Your reasoning makes sense. Maybe it's going to be there. But it turns out it wasn't. I don't know if it's because of either of our reasonings or their own reason. But it wasn't really a show for many past games. Besides Age of Calamity, nothing really got discussed in terms of new DLC. And I was looking back, and something that I found that I didn't mention in a video, but I just wanted to talk to you about is Nintendo hasn't really done substantial paid DLC unless it's announced at the onset. So like Pokemon Sword and Shield, we knew there was going to be expansion passes. And Zelda, the double pack got announced before the game came out. Same with Age of Calamity. I could be mistaken, but I don't know that they have done like paid DLC in the Switch era of substance post release.
Did they announce the I feel like either Hyrule Warriors or Breath of the Wild DLC was announced at some direct or conference.
Breath of the Wild, yeah, but Breath of the Wild DLC was announced before the game came out.
Okay. So, that's right, yeah, with that poster, yeah.
So
they just used it for marketing, basically.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying is, now that it wasn't there, and now that I've kind of looked at that again, I think that the paid pack is not a thing.
Mm-hmm. So you don't think paid DLC is coming for Animal Crossing?
No. Just based on precedent.
Yeah.
Well, let me correct. I think there could be like a paid villager pack, but I don't think like the $20 expansion thing that we saw with like the Pokemon Sword and Shield or with Zelda. I don't think that is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I may have done my little sweet talking you. Okay,
you did.
I just think, okay, correct. I mean, call me wrong because I was, but in a downer year, this was my logic going into it. On a downer year that we all had, I feel like they could have leaned a little bit on the biggest game on the Switch.
It fit.
And been like, hey,
Yeah.
Like let's release some updates or something. Looking back on it, I mean I've talked about this on a couple videos. Yeah, they probably wouldn't have shown anything if it wasn't Zelda or paid related. Like everything else, it was kind of foolish to think that they would show a free update. If they didn't have as much to show, I would have said, yeah, that makes total sense. And that's kind of where my logic was.
Right.
But they showed nothing, Zach. And I loved what you said in your video. They didn't even mention the community at all. They didn't even say anything.
Nothing.
Thanks for playing. Nothing.
Nothing. And, you know, it is counter to what a lot of other companies are doing. We saw Ubisoft show extensive support for games like Rainbow Six Siege and Assassin's Creed. We saw lots of companies, Capcom, that's all they talked about was kind of thank you to Resident Evil players for picking up Village. Nintendo, I guess, to our benefit, had enough content that they didn't need to kind of look backwards. But maybe to them it's not as big of a deal as it is to us. To me, like, Animal Crossing being this insane seller is just like incredible. And they kind of take it in stride. So maybe that's it. I mean, if you look back at sales figures, the last home console Animal Crossing was between 3 and 4 million. That was City Folk on Wii. This one is now 33 million in a year.
Yeah.
So how that's not blowing Nintendo over, I don't know. But maybe it is, and we just haven't seen the benefits of that. Like, there is a world, Pat, where Nintendo didn't think this was going to do as good as it did, and so they were like, oh, we'll do it. We'll do some basic updates. And maybe now they're like, whoa, we need to add to this. And I know we'll get to Doug's comments, but I think they bode better than you do.
Yeah, I kind of like where they're set up right now, because the E3 hype is pretty much dead. I mean, there's hype about the games themselves, but like obviously E3 hype is dead. So man, if they announce something in a week or two, all eyes are on Animal Crossing again, and it's like all is well. Zach, we got to talk about this. There's no dodging around it. Okay, we both did live presentations. I don't know about your side because I wasn't there, but man, as soon as it started winding down, every minute that went by, every couple of minutes that went by. And then when they said we have one more thing, and I looked into the camera, I said, guys, Animal Crossing isn't showing. As soon as I said that, as soon as people started realizing they were getting bamboozled, man, it went south fast. I don't know, did that happen in your chat too?
Yeah, I mean, I was under the impression that people hated the Direct just because of how much sadness there was on my feed. But it was mostly, you know, Animal Crossing players. And it was also Zelda fans until the very end, because it sort of seemed like Zelda was also going to get the short end of the stick. I mean, in a way it did. They're like, we don't have an anniversary celebration. Sorry, guys. But yeah, there was, with every announcement, it was like, oh no, less of a chance. It's not happening. And then they had that segment where they said like DLC and like soon releases. I don't know, whatever they called it. They showed like Tony Hawk, and they showed...
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're going to definitely have like at least a little like blurb, like new Animal Crossing summer update. But yeah, on that day, I fully expected it to be there. And as it kind of went, it just became clear to me that, as you said, Nintendo was focused on the new stuff and marketing what they have to sell, not something free. But also that they, as much as they've tried to play off that they're not, they are also affected by the pandemic. They don't have a huge holiday game yet again. A second year, nothing major.
Yeah, look, I mean, they're obviously relying on like Pokemon, as much hype as Metroid is getting, and it's going to sell well. I feel like Metroid is going to probably almost break 10. What do you think? There's a lot of hype going.
I think it'll be incredibly successful if it gets anywhere near 5.
Yeah.
I mean, just because Metroid is not a huge seller, and I think that's where some of the kickback is coming. It's like these are more niche franchises, and not to the hardcore, but just to the general populace. A 2D Metroid isn't the biggest deal. A WarioWare game, some people are probably like, what's WarioWare? Advance Wars, what is that? Mario Party then kind of becomes the hit of the show, which is funny, but it's also totally valid. The last game sold almost 15 million copies, and this one, by all accounts, is going to be notably better. By going backwards in time, it's going to be notably better. And some of the additions of like true matchmaking and pause the game even if you're playing online, like those are fantastic. Yeah, I don't know if you want to get to Doug's comments first, or you want to go to the debacle that ensued and then the following 24 hours after E3. But
I want to go there.
all right,
Doug right now. He's on the other line.
bold of you to put the president of Nintendo on hold.
He's putting us on hold. So, Zach,
Ooh.
I saw a side of, I don't want to say, I don't want to generalize everyone here. I'm sure everyone here is fantastic, but
Sure.
man, this was the first time I think I was disappointed by the Animal Crossing community. I think not everyone, I don't want to, like I said, but there was a lot of just harassing, pointing fingers, but not doing it in like a good way.
Yeah.
I stayed off Twitter that day. I just didn't want to see a lot of the comments. Like, man, all Nintendo's posts for Mario Party and Zelda, like, it was all like, where's Animal Crossing? But saying it in like nastier ways. And you posted something, and I quickly posted after, like, your videos, man, we're getting, the comments were not good. Like, you were sending me some, and I was like, man, that's not, those aren't the people I know. So
Yeah.
do you want to go into that?
I mean, and with my video, there was kind of two groups of people, but the first one I want to kind of address is like, well, there's really three. There's people that were just pissed off, and like that I understand. Like, why is there no Animal Crossing? Okay, like it's valid, I guess. I wouldn't probably go say screw you to Nintendo, but it's valid to be disappointed. Then there was the section of people who were blaming people like you and I for hyping up this fake update. The logic behind that just astounds me, because nowhere did we ever say, like, guys, on June 15th, they're announcing the brand new update, and it's going to feature this, so get your Switches ready to download. We were speculating, we were discussing, we were having a back and forth and a conversation in the same way that you'd have on the playground with your friends as a kid, or at the coffee shop as an adult, or on Discord or wherever. To me, there is nothing wrong about making videos, going through some data points like a data mine or past precedent, and then saying, here's what we'd like, here's what fans would like. But all of a sudden, for certain people, we became the bad guys. Like, oh, this is your fault. And there was this video from a different creator that kind of went around saying, like, oh, we invented 2.0. And I don't like that concept, because I don't think we invented anything. By all accounts, Nintendo could, and maybe even will have a 2.0 update. Like, this isn't fabricated. And it was really interesting for me to see the two sides of it. Some people were like, you be grateful, we got a year of updates, so shut up. And then some people were like, you made us think that there was gonna be an update, now there's not. And then some people were like, Animal Crossing's the worst, they betrayed their fans. So much blame being thrown around, and I try to just chalk it up to, hey, it's an angry day for a lot of people wanting more from the game. Then there's the other side, which we don't even have to get into, which is like this whole idea that we're like misleading or clickbaiting or, tricking people. And I don't know how many times we have to say, like, guys, as much as we love Nintendo, we have no idea what they're doing. We don't pick it. We don't choose it. They don't tell us. We aren't reporting, or we are just reporting on what happens. And like, I have no problem saying I will never be the source of the update. Nintendo will never give me the trailer and post it. So you come into my video.
That's my main argument. Like, if you think that Zach is unleashing this update on you guys for the first time, I don't know where that's coming from. And like, we put in our videos predictions, speculation. Like, sure, we might fudge the thumbnail a little bit, like the one that I have right now, like the ×10 fish bait. That doesn't exist, but that's something we're gonna get to in a little bit. I feel like people don't, and it's not all people, but it's just like people don't separate like the creator from like the person. Like, we're just chatting about what we want, what we think is gonna happen, and yeah, it just came off as like, well, who can we point the finger at? Because like Nintendo won't respond to us. Let's comment in these people's videos, and maybe we can get something out of them. I just feel like it's weird. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. We make predictions, and if you make a prediction like we did, we often go bold. I feel like that's the difference between Zach and I. Like, Zach's like, Brewster's coming, but like if it doesn't happen, then we look like idiots. But if we predict a warp pipe and it happens, we're like kings of the world. So it's like,
well, and people are never satisfied. I don't mean you people. I mean just in general. Like, you're too hard in the game. You're too easy on the game. And it's like, I posted very soon after the direct, and so people surmised that I was breaking some Animal Crossing news, but it's like, what? I should have waited 8 hours just so it didn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's what are you supposed to do? I of course I'm going to comment on it. I'm of course going to post it, but I'm not breaking Nintendo's. Doug Bowser didn't call me and say like, here, share this to the people. And on the subject of clickbait, because I saw you get some of it, it's like I had someone message and say, like, hey, not trying to be mean, but like your thumbnails are really easy to click on. And I was like, is this a criticism or is this a compliment? Because I can't quite tell. And they were like, no, it's a criticism. I was like, okay, but this is the point of like literally anything. Like, check out movie posters, check out commercials, check out advertisements. Like, the whole point is to make it interesting and engaging. If it was just like a boring black screen that said ACNH, like, I don't know. Yeah.
So I just don't know, because I'll just give you an example. So my video yesterday, I think it was like, I titled it "Huge News." I'm just using this as an example because multiple comments that I was clickbaiting. I said, "Huge news. Nintendo responds to Animal Crossing fans. Quotations. More to come." And I think the thing that, it's factual. And people were, I think the thing that didn't resonate well with people is that I said huge news, and they were debating whether or not it was huge news. Zach, I personally think that the president of Nintendo responding to an Animal Crossing fandom is huge. Like, that is huge news.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think you can win either way. I mean...
Well, and then you have people saying, I don't even watch the videos, but I took your thumbnail seriously. It's like, well... And I tried to explain this on Twitter. I said, I cannot make videos expecting that people will not watch them or will only watch the first, 5 seconds. Like, in my video, everyone was saying, like, oh, like, you're a liar. Animal Crossing's not over. Within the first 2 minutes of the video, I said, this is disappointing. This is a downer, but I think there's hope, and let me tell you why. Most people that complained didn't even get to that point. I can't make a video talking super fast, as fast as I can, front loading all the information the first 5 seconds so that they get it immediately, and then they like there's a whole video for a reason. If you don't watch it, that's fine, totally your prerogative. But you can just tell from the comments if people don't watch the video, and it's tough.
Yeah, but I mean, long story short, I just saw like a side of this community that I have seen, in small doses, but it just seemed overall bad. And I have been reading the chat this whole time, and people are like, what do you expect? Like, this is the type of game that we have. And it is frustrating. And before the show, I was telling Zach, like, I knew it was going to be emotions pouring out in every which way, because for a lot of people, let me know in the chat if you were one of them, E3 for a lot of people was the breaking point. It was like, will Nintendo show anything for my game? Or if they don't, I'm dropping the game. If they do, then we're going to have a party. So I knew something was going to come of it. I just didn't know it would be like this bad. And especially considering that we're not even done with June yet. So like, they could drop at any time. They don't work on directs. Like, they don't work on direct schedules, so they can drop at any time.
And to I guess just the other side a little bit. Like, I understand some people follow us religiously. Some people get all their Animal Crossing info from you and your videos and your streams. So you feel upset at the person that you're following if things don't come true. But I will say, I think we have been correct much more than we have been incorrect. And never did we say, like, again, Tuesday, June 15th, tune in at 12:36. There's going to be an Animal Crossing trailer. We just supposed, along with a lot of other people, that there would be. Yeesh. It's just... There's just no need for it, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that same day, Animal Crossing was trending in a few different ways. Imagine Nintendo. They're all hyped to put out this presentation, and a different game trends, and that's never a good thing. So Animal Crossing was trending. AC is Dead was trending. That was fun. Animal Crossing is Dead. Like, all this. RIP. And like, it was just so toxic, man. And if you're not in this community and you're looking like from the outside in, it's a little embarrassing, considering this is the game that we both cover.
Yeah.
So I guess, and I don't know if that's the reason. Do you think this is the reason Nintendo put out something?
Well, I will say, like, they have commented on 2 titles that they didn't mention that fans wanted Bayonetta and Animal Crossing. Now, is that because they're so keyed into the fan response, or is it because that's what journalists asked because those were the games not shown? I don't know. I'd love to think that Doug Bowser realizes they made a oopsie here and wants to kind of contain the disappointment, but to me, it's either way. A lot of it's probably just the questions they're asked. But you have to imagine in 2021, Nintendo PR is like, they saw AC was trending. Like they're not ignorant to the fact that it was a big deal.
Yeah. So this is a developing story, by the way, because, it was kind of doom and gloom, and now there's a little bit of hope. Right. And this ties in with our poll, which we'll go over in a bit. So Doug Bowser spoke to Verge, and I have the quote up here. Mm-hmm. We both reported on this. This is Doug's exact words. While we didn't talk about it during the E3 Nintendo Direct, we absolutely have plans going forward to ensure the 33 million people who have islands out there have new and fun activities to engage with. Look for more to come. So, Zach, I don't think he did this for the Bayonetta community. I don't think he did. So this seems to be like a personalized message to me anyway. Mm-hmm. And I'll let you talk after this. I think Nintendo realized they made an oopsie. They should have said something or posted something or something like that. What's your take on what he said?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was silly to not include it. At the same time, I understand if they're not selling anything. Like this is traditionally a conference to sell stuff. It's a conference to sell stuff to places that stock the games, the Walmarts and the Targets and the GameStops, and it's an opportunity to sell pre-orders. I think that his word choice is very interesting. I think the fact that he is signaling current players, it's not saying like we have continued support. It's saying like, hey, players that bought this game, first of all, hi, we acknowledge you. Second of all, we're going to give you new and fun activities. Activities is a very nebulous word, but I talked about in my video, that is not the words that they have ever used in the past. They have previously used words like seasons and events and your favorite UGC, user-generated content. This time he's saying new and fun activities, and they are very careful and conscious of what they say. They have these things prepped and planned. So I have to believe that the reason they didn't say seasons and events is because there is more than just the recycling with a slight tweak of the formula for seasons.
Imagine he did say seasons. I would have been even more mad if he didn't speak.
We want those 33 million players to know that seasons will still be updating throughout the next year.
Yeah, that would have been bad. Yeah, I mentioned that too. I think the word activities speaks volume. Look for more to come. Like, I want to dissect this whole entire thing. Yeah, he referenced the community, and that was something that I didn't say, but you said. He's referencing people that have islands and not just like people looking to pick up. So this, to me anyway, seems like something is on the horizon, Zach. So anyway, I have a picture. Zach, this is our closest poll in history, starting with episode 1.
Ooh.
Over on Twitter, if you're not following, what the heck? You weren't involved in this. After hearing, and this is the question I said, after hearing Doug Bowser's comments, are you confident Animal Crossing will get any major updates in the near future? 34% say yes, big updates are coming soon. 34% say no, maybe this fall, and 32% says nothing major ever gets added. So that doesn't give us anything. That only confirms that people are just confused by what he said.
Yeah.
So out of those three, what did you vote for?
I think something substantial happens in soon.
Soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, the least likely is that there's nothing now but something in the fall. Mm-hmm. I think you're either never substantial or it's going to happen soon, because to me, it does not make sense to just randomly try to restart the game after 6, 7, 8 months of nothing. I really think the summer will be utilized as a decent update. I'm not going to say Brewster, but I pointed out June 25th was the day they announced the summer update last year. We're not even to June 25th. So as much as E3 kind of did feel like a do or die, if we take a deep breath, truthfully, it's not. there could be an announcement on Monday. There could be an announcement on Wednesday. There could be an announcement, before 4th of July. We've tried to analyze, the dates of the events. Some go through August. Most wrap up in July. But if there was to be a summer update, like, we have not crossed that threshold yet. So I think, I don't know. To me, if there was no update till October or November, I don't know that he would have said, like, look forward to more to come, or like, hey, we have new and fun activities. I think he might have said, like, we'll always support Animal Crossing at, like, the big moments of the year, or, like, towards the holiday season. It just doesn't seem like he would say what he said if there was going to be another 4 months until something happened.
Real quick before I give my take, Mandy says, Animal Crossing was the gateway to get me back to buying games and consoles. How many of the 30 million Animal Crossing buyers are like me? Nintendo doesn't live on AC alone.
Yeah,
so how many? Okay.
An interesting concept that I was thinking through and talking about was, like, even though they don't sell anything with these updates, it is a marketing move. Because when we all talk about Animal Crossing, when we all tweet about Animal Crossing, that's a chance for other Switch owners or non-Switch owners to buy the game. Like, a big update is a money-making push. And when you think about it that way, we've never really considered it that way on the show, I don't think. Like, a big 2.0 update, even if free, makes them a ton of money. Oh, yeah. Us getting excited about the game will inevitably spill over to people that don't own it. And as more and more Switches are purchased, more and more people could have Animal Crossing. So, man, a free update of some substance just benefits everybody. And I think at this point, like, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think you can't discredit this game. Like, I think it was a big gateway game. Like, people that are buying Animal Crossing probably bought Mario Kart, probably will buy Mario Party. So, man, yeah, you got to support this game. And, like, even if you put out an update and then people, like, really want the update, so I don't know, maybe they renew their online subscription. It's just a whole, like, it's a whole cash flow right there. My opinion on this Doug thing, I'm eliminating the last choice. I just put the last choice because I know a lot of people are still fired up.
Right.
There's no way we don't get anything major. I don't know what you would classify as major, though. Like 2.0 major, or like customizing fences, is that major to you? But I still think we get something substantial soon. I think if I had to choose, soon being like this month or next month over fall, I think that would be my option. Because like, what's happening? Can you really go another month or two without anything? Like, it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad.
It makes very little sense to me based on how little time it would take, but perhaps we saw the planned content wrap with Pave, and then throw it together. Pandemic content was the last 2 blog post updates, and perhaps they have been working or trying to get together something that does feel like a more traditional update. I mean, there is a world where Doug Bowser is just a coy, smarmy executive, and he's just like, huzzah, we gave you 4 more design slots. Or, like, there is a chance that it's something pathetic, but I don't know. I think that would be a colossal failure, and I don't think you want to piss off 33 million players. Remember that Nintendo loved when they targeted the more general family audience of the Wii, and that's what they've tapped into with Animal Crossing, to be honest. And not to generalize, but this is an audience that you could sell the next Ring Fit to. You could sell the next Mario Party to. You could sell a Wii Sports type title to. So I don't know that spurning them is the right move. And when you see all these other companies supporting their games for years and with reliable, regular content, I would be blown away if there wasn't something. And you said, what's substantial? I think like a normal update. To me, that would be substantial at this point, right? Like back in like the 1.5, the 1.6, like the summer update with diving, or the late summer update with fireworks and Luna. Like, that is what I'm now considering substantial, is just like our typical update.
Yeah. I like, even dropping 20 new DIYs, just something, just give us something to play and talk about. Now I feel like there's another audience that is kind of saying, well, what Doug said doesn't mean a lot to me. I mean, we already knew that we were getting updates. I just feel like, and I mean, I don't have the whole Verge like article on me, but I'm just going off of this. If this was the only game that he was asked about, I don't know if he was asked about Bayonetta, but man, if he only addressed this game and community, that's substantial. So yeah, I mean, I could see the side of that too. Everything was said, but at the same time, nothing was said. So it's a very interesting blurb here. Do you think, are you on update watch right now or what?
It's like, what do we say at this point? I don't want to be, crucified. But if you look at past precedents, then you would say that if there's going to be a summer update, it would be within the next couple of weeks. Right? Like, I mean, maybe it's the beginning of July, maybe it's the end of June.
Look what you did to my friend Zach. He is petrified to say anything. He doesn't even want to say the word update.
The truth is, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to be announced, but all I can do is look to last year, which is June 25th is when they announced the update, and then July 23rd is when they announced the second half. So to me, between June 25th and July 23rd is your best bet for when something new would be announced, right? Like that makes the most logical sense. Those are the summer months. I feel a little worried because those seasonal events do carry into August, but I would now be surprised if we reach, let's say 2 months from now, August 15th, without a new update. That would be odd. I mean, cadence-wise, they still have kept to it. We are now on like week 7 or 8, so we're coming up to when, like, hey, this is when they normally will drop. I don't know what size it's going to be, but I feel, I'm on update watch.
Yeah.
Said it.
That was tough. Amelia saying, thank you. Another thing to consider is the more AC fans there are now, the more copies of future AC titles get sold. Yeah. I feel like this is a very like emotional game for a lot of people, pandemic wise. So I feel like even if the people that dropped off already, that haven't touched the game in like 7 months, 8 months, they're going to be all eyes on the next Animal Crossing game whenever that happens. But that's a good point. Oh, hey, with the 10. My least favorite thing about E3 was how people were so fast to trash a game just because it wasn't AC or Legend of Zelda, or because it was something new to them. Remember, there's something for everyone. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. But I will say that I do think that the Zelda fan base they literally said, Zach, in the presentation, we're not going crazy like we were to the Mario anniversary.
It was so strange.
That's shocking.
It was very, very, very odd. Yeah, I mean, I think there was still a lot of cool stuff announced. I do understand it feeling like a stopgap year because many of the games aren't of the scale and caliber of a Splatoon, with a big multiplayer and single player, or Breath of the Wild, this huge open world, or Mario Odyssey. They are smaller experiences. It's still a very prolific year for Nintendo. They're putting out a lot of first-party games.
Yeah.
But, a Zelda HD remaster and a WarioWare are not the same as Breath of the Wild, Odyssey, Mario Kart, Splatoon. Yeah. Like, it's not those heavy hitters.
And someone could say that, some could say that Breath of the Wild was, the start of all this madness for the Switch. So it's crazy that they're not little plastic thing. Are you gonna did you get the Game & Wario or the Game & Watch?
No. Yeah.
No? Doesn't interest me.
I had this phase where I was like, I need everything, like early on in my YouTube career, and then I realized that I just had shelves of plastic, so now I try to be very very picky. It's hard. The Zelda Joy-Con, the Skyward Sword, the first Joy-Con I don't get, which is odd feeling, but the blue.
Wait, you're not getting it?
I'm getting the game, but not the Joy. Like, I have too many Joy-Con. Yeah, too many.
I remember that video you put out showing all the combinations. Oh my God, who is this guy? Scarlett says, this is for Zach. I can see the pain. We need some emotional music. I can see the pain in your eyes and it's killing me. I'm going to read this, very dramatic. I will protect you. Keep being awesome because you are valid and you are loved.
I appreciate it. I'm honestly like, look, I've been doing this for 11 years. It phases me only to a certain extent, and then I realize it's just angry internet voices. But I appreciate it. It's not even that I'm pained. It's just, again, we aren't in contact with Nintendo, so I'm trying to piece together what makes the most sense. And it really felt like E3 was a great time. We don't have one of those dates right now. It's not like, on July 4th there's a Nintendo investors call. Like, there's none of that. And Pat, I'm gonna say it here so we both remember it. I don't think Animal Crossing will ever be in a direct again. At least not this game.
Okay.
I think that they will update on their Twitter and on their YouTube channel or on their blog page, but I don't think we should expect it in directs.
I think if they are, it would be a paid thing.
Yes.
I'm not going to rule it out entirely. It'd be like a paid or something like akin to like the New Leaf update. But yeah,
Welcome, Amiibo.
Shell with the 5. Do you think Animal Crossing would be trending as much / more if they dropped an update during E3? Could they be playing with our emotions? I mean, bad publicity is good publicity, some people say. I feel like
it's not intentional though. They're not like, if we get them, like, we hold their heartstrings and then we'll have them, by the throat and then release it. It's definitely like, I'm sure they're happy that they have press, but I don't think their plan was, let's incite the masses so that we can win them back, a few months later.
Chris, how's it going, by the way? I feel like it would have taken over. It would have taken over. I feel like Nintendo had like a okay presentation. For me, it was good because I'm picking up 5-7 games, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it would have been trending a lot more if they gave us something, because it would have been substantial if it made the E3 presentation. But then again, they showed a Marvel game. Like, does it have to be substantial? I keep going back and forth. Like, I don't know.
But I think it ties, and I'm going to talk to Ashley's comment here in chat. She says, by that logic, why did they put Smash in directs? Well, the reason is because you can buy that.
Yeah.
I think that...
And Smash, they've been trying to push that competitively for years now.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And the third-party partnerships, when it is announcing new characters. And I think there's a face for Smash Brothers that also... he holds a lot of clout within the community and probably within Nintendo themselves. There's not really a face of Animal Crossing. We don't get the director of Animal Crossing coming and speaking directly to us. So I believe that they really like to sell things in those directs. And yes, sometimes we might get a nugget here or there. But I also don't know if they, and maybe I'm off base here, but I don't know if they think the Animal Crossing audience is really watching directs. At least the majority of them.
Yeah, you could be onto something. I feel like a lot of people in the chat, like, to my surprise, were like, "This is my first E3. Thank you for that." Like, it's weird for me, but then again, like, yeah, you're ushering in a new audience for Nintendo. Nintendo is still like healing from the Wii U, I feel like. So yeah, not a lot of eyes were on
their pockets. E3 are definitely healed. Their checkbooks are healed.
They're beyond good. But yeah, I could see that. So, I don't know. I feel like a summer update is likely. I will say it. It's likely, guys. I'm not confirming it. I'm just saying it's likely. Do we agree that it's likely? It's just an empty month. We haven't got an update in a while.
So what you're saying is on June 25th, there's going to be a massive update featuring some of your favorite NPCs and characters. Bank on it. Count on it.
Brewster is going to be riding on a surfboard. You heard it here. Sandra says, Zach and Pat are two awesome YouTubers. Love your videos. Big hugs. Sandra, thank you. Look at this.
I think it's likely. We can say it's likely.
It is likely. Judging by what we've got in the past, I think it's likely. We haven't got an update in a while. Now, we could be in the pandemic era of things. Like, everything before this could have been planned and done already.
We are still on the same cadence. And, like, obviously, again, it was upsetting. And both of us were like, wow, no update E3. But we are still on the same cadence. Remember, last year, they announced the Earth Day update, right? And they had how it carried through to wedding season and all that. And then they had the summer update. So, by all accounts, we are just reliving the same pattern. Now, I'm not saying the updates are going to be as good, but, like, we aren't in a catastrophic 3-month gap or something. You know, it hasn't hit that, like, panic mode yet.
Let me ask you this, and everyone else in the chat, you can obviously participate. The game that we have right now in the final version of whatever they add via updates or whatever, how different do you think it is from right now?
By, like, when all is said and done?
Like, how much do you think is added? How many characters? Like, how many NPC? Like, how many activities?
You're talking to one of the most idyllic people on the planet, so this is very hard for me to try and rein it in.
Because, like, even the game now from when the game launched, it's very different. Yeah, it's very different. Like, the different holidays and characters. So, like, from this point on,
10%.
10% different.
10%.
Okay.
I think we're at 90% of the game.
I just feel like unless something substantial is done, we're like peaking right now in terms of additions. Because like I don't think besides anything substantial, year 3 I feel like is very bare. Like maybe half of the year we get something, and that's pretty reasonable for this type of game. Um, man, you say 10%?
I'm just trying to err on the side of on the safe side.
Well, that's a big percentage though. 10% is big.
Because 10% to me would be one more really substantial update and one more medium substantial update. I think there are two. I think there's a summer and a fall, and I think that kind of sends us off, into the swan song months for Animal Crossing New Horizons. And it's hard because like there is this other side to it, which is you paid $60 and got 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 15, 1,800 hours. Like there's nothing that you need to say. Like your money value has been achieved 100-fold. Yeah. So as much as we would love for it to be a everlasting well of new fun things to do and see and add to our islands, like from a business standpoint, which Nintendo is a business, calls me back to the episode where like, it's a business. They sold 33 million copies. They're going to sell 40 million copies. And everybody, unless you hated the game, you got your money's worth. So I don't like saying like, oh, everything is just icing on the cake, because it feels then like we're being complacent or we're not acknowledging how great the game has sold or performed or the audience. But I will say, like, there is a perspective where you could consider that, hey, this was some of the best money I ever spent.
So you're basically saying that the game is 90% done.
That's what I would think.
Okay.
I think we are definitely at the tail end of that curve.
Yeah. Okay. Nintendo Ninja News says, and this is an interesting point, but I have a counter argument to this.
All right.
There won't be as many new features as people would think. Animal Crossing is not a games as a service model, aka Battle Royale. However, fans expect it because it sold very well. I feel like that's a good point, though. That's a good point, but my counterpoint is in your point. I feel like because of the sales numbers, there's all the reason to support this game as a service. And I always think of games like this because Nintendo is a one console company now. There's no 3DS. I remember that was like the biggest, like, I was so annoyed by that because the 3DS and Wii U were constantly competing for games and stuff. But I feel like you either have to make like a spin-off at this point or support the current game. And I feel like supporting the current game is a much more realistic option than coming out with Happy Home Academy 2 or something.
Yeah, I mean, again, all logic would say, yeah, definitely support this. It makes sense financially. It makes sense for the player base. It makes sense for the audience. It is not a games as a service game. He is correct in that point. And I think that if you bought the Switch for Animal Crossing, that is a totally different mindset than if you bought the Switch and also bought Animal Crossing. Imagine if you got a DVD player back in the day and all you had was like Home Alone 2. One movie, and you're just going to watch it over and over. Like, Nintendo would love for you to go buy a new game. And I don't know what that game is for people. And maybe right now they're working on something that is going to be, I'm not saying another Animal Crossing, but something that they feel can carry people over. More of a lighthearted, fun, creative type title. Their goal is for you to buy another game, not to buy a Switch and sit with your $60 title for the next 6 years. And you don't have to buy it, but like that's what Nintendo's thinking. So
yeah,
like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 30 million copies and it doesn't get any DLC.
I just think you're also dealing with like a fragile new market that comes in. Like these people are, well, I don't know what the percentage is of like quote unquote new gamers or people buying games for the first time, but like, are they going to ditch Animal Crossing and go back to not playing video games, or are they going to keep playing? Like, look at The Sims. The Sims is like a monster, and why can't we have that sort of market there? I just don't get it. We had another super chat from Jennifer. I wish we could just pay to buy a part 2. I did get my money's worth, but want more.
That'd be great.
I feel like the sweet spot for this game is one, like I'm only asking for one substantial update where it's like maybe 2 new islands that you can visit, fix up Harv's a little bit, like just round the game off a bit. One substantial update, and then for year 3, add in things like we got before, more custom designs, more things to customize, like that sort of update. So like add in one substantial maybe story element, and then just start adding in quality of life stuff, and I'd be happy. That would be enough for me.
I agree. I mean, it's hard. Like the decisions we make are obviously not the ones, or the decisions we would make are obviously not the ones they make. Mario Odyssey to me seemed like the game most primed for downloadable content on the Switch, and it got none. It is a game based on kingdoms that are all creative and unique, and all you have to do is add new kingdoms, and they added 0. So, beside the point, summer update. Get excited. Yeah. But not too excited that you're going to hate us in a few weeks if it doesn't happen. Just medium excited.
Yeah. I would just be, again, I was shocked that it wasn't at E3. Looking back on it, I can kind of justify it a little bit. I'm still surprised. But yeah, if we don't get anything for summer, that's going to be another surprise for me. I guess I wouldn't.
Not after Doug Bowser's little fun activities comment.
Yeah. Especially after that. Yeah. Okay, we're now going to the Q&A portion of this. I'm going to open up the Discord channel, Nook Talk questions. You can submit them there. We do have some spicy ones. I was looking over them. Let's see. Oh, we have a Would You Rather, Zach. Oh. This is amazing. Would you rather? There's 2 of them, and this is by Mindy, by the way.
Would you rather see Angels and Airwaves front row or Purity Ring front row?
Zach, I spent a lot of money on something, but listen, it's my dream band.
All right.
Okay, I'm seeing Angels and Airwaves in Boston. I got the sound check.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go there before, like, I might not make it to the show.
You might become part of the band. They might take you away from NintenTalk.
I could sing all the songs, so that's amazing. I'm so excited. Okay, would you rather?
Yes.
I like how Zach creeps on me. It's amazing. Okay, Mindy, would you rather the Nintendo Switch Pro to be announced for release in 2022 or Nintendo to stealth drop Mario Kart 9 in the Autumn Direct?
Oh, come on. So either I can pay $400 for a system that makes the graphics a little better, or I can get the sequel to my favorite Nintendo game of the last decade, Mario Kart 9.
Yeah. I actually don't get really the appeal of I do kind of understand that we do need a stronger console to get third-party games, but I'm fine with the Switch's power. I've come to terms that Nintendo games are Nintendo games, and I'm not going to be playing like some crazy PC game. So yeah, I would go with Mario Kart as well. This next one is a little bit more involved, though. Would you rather a multiplayer island is added to Dodo Airlines, but there is now a limit on how many Nook Mile tickets you can use per day? So, farewell to villager hunts. Or Brewster opens his museum cafe, but you now have one less villager permanently.
Yeah, screw him. We get Brewster. Come on,
wow.
you can't have 10 favorites. This isn't cheaper by the dozen. Wow. It's fine to have 9 villagers. Brewster's worth like 7, maybe even 12.
Wow. Okay. All right. I think out of those 2,
how you gonna pit anything Brewster against me? Come on now.
I would say Brewster.
There we go. Smart man.
I would say Brewster. Well, because I think Brewster's cool, not like a god like you, but but limiting the amount of Nook Mile tickets I can use, that's gonna ruin villager hunts forever. It's gonna ruin villager hunts forever.
Is that a problem? You've seen them all by now.
But it's fun to do. I like it.
Only because there's no other updates. If they brought in other updates, maybe we would have something else to do.
It's true. I need more context on this. What is the limit now? Yeah, I can easily throw one villager in the trash. That's fine. There's always one that kind of lingers too much anyway. So
yeah, gosh, totally.
Okay. All right, this is a good one. Wendy Weebs says, how do you keep the community engaged moving forward? And this is kind of like a loaded question, I guess, to Zach. Does the Animal Crossing content for you continue, or is it strictly news-based? What are you doing?
Oh, YouTube video-wise?
Yeah, I think that's what they mean.
I mean, I I think there is still life in the Animal Crossing game and community, absolutely. So I'm not abandoning it. I've obviously reduced the amount of content, but I mean, for me that was inevitable, and for the game it seems inevitable. They bring it back, it ebbs and flows. The game won't go away. I'm not going to stop making the content, but I'm not also out here trying to like the elements that I would need to focus on are just not the parts of the game that I enjoy. So when there's a new update, I'll be into it, I'll stream it, I'll play it. But in the meantime, like, it is taking a bit of a backseat to a much less popular but more interesting game right now, Mario Golf Super Rush. Out next week.
I'm so excited. My response to how I keep the community engaged, I absolutely have plans going forward to ensure the 33 million people have islands out there, have fun and new activities to engage with. Look for more to come.
How? So, I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. It's sounds very professional, Pat. It's not like you.
I think that's my best response.
What you do is you do call-in shows, and you do 100% completion streams, and you unbox those overpriced combo boxes. That's what you do.
I'm telling the truth here. I could entertain these people for 10 years off of Animal Crossing. I could find a way.
I'm sitting here watching you tell me that these socks are costing like $3 or whatever. I'm like, where do you shop? Those Animal Crossing socks are like $8 at best or something. And then
listen,
the glass, you're like $7. I'm like, that's like a $15 glass, which I thought was hilarious that they lied about the shape of the glass.
The shape was disgusting. I think that I got a lot of flack for the whole pricing bit on there.
Yeah.
But I was judging it based off of quality and like, bro, you can go to the Dollar Tree and buy a glass.
It wasn't clear if you were saying this is what you think it's worth or what you think it would cost at a store.
Okay.
Which was it?
I was just valuing it as quality of the product.
Gotcha.
Zach.
Okay.
Listen, you can't take a piece of garbage, put an Animal Crossing sticker on it, and sell it for $30. I had to be real with these people.
The journal you said was $3. Go to Target and find a branded journal for $3.
I can go to Walmart and buy like 6 notebooks for $1.
Yeah, that have a speckled black and white static print on them, or a generic golden retriever.
I could use them.
It costs a lot to have Isabel on there. She's valuable.
I will hand draw Isabel art if that means that much of a profit. Let's see. I missed you, man. Keep the questions coming. I'm gonna read them off of Discord.
The good news is Pat's next merch is going to be a $3 journal and a $7 glass and $4 socks. So you guys are in luck.
And I'm gonna purposely keep that little pricing bit in there anytime I like review something, just because it triggered so many people.
Hey, all press is good press, right? All publicity is good publicity.
Let's see. We had some hard hitting questions. Okay, here we go. Saskia, getting serious here.
Is this Naruto?
I wish. You both are experienced in E3 and Nintendo Direct events. Looking back, do you regret pushing up the hype in hopes in the new players that are not familiar with this concept of marketing? You both knew well that this is a stage for content you pay for, and there's a high chance no free updates will be shown. There's a part 2 to this.
Okay.
Do you regret any sort of push?
No, because I think a paid content made perfect sense. So in a perfect world, I would have stuck to what I said initially, but both of our logic for why it would be there made sense. It wasn't like this is our favorite game that sold 50,000 copies and we just pray that Nintendo no, like a paid DLC made a lot of sense. It would have made millions and millions of dollars, and it would have been the perfect time to show, especially in a pandemic year where they may not have a lot of other new stuff. No, I think we did not guarantee anything. So I feel my conscience is clean.
Yeah, I don't regret anything. I feel like Animal Crossing and Nintendo in general are just very hard to predict anyway. That's what makes these prediction videos so fun. Like, you never know what's going to happen. You never know if you're going to be right. And I think with logic, Zach uses a little bit more facts than I do, but I think with logic, and I see a game that sells 33 million, and I think, man, if this isn't shown at the stage, I'm going to be very surprised. Yeah. And that was my logic behind that. But
yeah. I think it's good.
Jennifer says, what's that?
Was there part 2?
Yes, but Jennifer
Okay.
says, I would continue to watch Pat doing anything Animal Crossing. Great content. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Part 2 here.
So we've got a hot tub with Animal Crossing floaty stream coming up soon.
I'm down.
Can
Listen,
you
I'm
do
down.
some Animal Crossing ASMR? I want you to be like,
Ooh.
cookie, baldo, truffles.
Listing all the villages. How much is a hot tub? Like $3?
I mean, yeah,
Something
they're
like
just using blow up pools. They're not doing actual
Yeah.
hot tubs. Oh, it was a joke. That was very meta
Yeah.
of you. Okay,
There we go.
I got it.
There
I
we go.
gotcha.
How do you feel? How do you both feel about the other content creators are now blaming your role? Whoa. Okay, I think we touched this a little bit.
It's that dumb video. I'm sorry. I don't like that video.
How do you both feel about other content creators are now blaming your role in the whole situation with the frustration and AC is dead comments, and that it's all only the easy way to gain views? On my side, I love that you spice up the expectations, but it's also a risky game. You can easily build frustration up to a level someone drops the game. And just to make sure, I'm aware of the video posted by Pat before E3 and highly appreciated it. It's what keeps my respect for you as a content creator. So I saw one video that's basically saying like the 2.0 thing is dumb. It's never going to happen. I think I saw a couple actually.
I don't know why that video becomes fact, but okay. Like it's just as much a video as any other video. So this idea that and I'll just speak for you and me, that we created this fake reality where Nintendo is going to do big things for the game and then people are disappointed. So like you're telling me that, let's ask the chat. You're telling me that if you didn't watch me and Pat, you would just be smitten with the game and wouldn't expect anything more. You'd just be having so much fun. Like we're ruining it for you. I don't buy that. And we didn't invent it. We didn't tell people there is an update. All we did was say, if there was an update, here's what would be. Here's where it could come. We didn't make it. And so this idea, like, and by all means, let's be very clear. As much as we are getting views with speculation, making a bold claim and say that other creators made up 2.0 is also to get views. So let's just be really, really straight here. It is.
Whoa.
It is just as much, right? 100%.
Does anyone have burn cream? Your boy just got burnt. And I went to the beach today. I feel fantastic. So, okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I just think it's kind of weird I don't even know if I would go as extreme to say bash, but like to kind of question our views on speculation and take that in a negative way. Now, I got to say, Zach, we're pretty powerful here because I want to say that I got to say that you and I were the main pioneers in 2.0. We got to use our powers for good next time. We have a lot of followers apparently.
Look, I cannot wait till Brewster's in the game, and I cannot wait till the Switch Pro's announced, so I can just run through the streets screaming, because these things are happening. Like, the Switch Pro is happening. It didn't happen in E3, but that thing is real. I think we did use our powers for good. I think that we have supported and cultivated a community that continues, that is positive, that is strong, and I don't think us guessing what's going to be there, again, there's no shame in making some speculation.
Yeah.
I mean, what is all commentary? Look at sports. Oh, we think that, Kawhi is going to go off against, Donovan Mitchell. Oh, we think, like, it's all just predicting, guessing, and having fun talking. And man, you're taking life way too seriously if the update that we speculated and hoped and thought might happen doesn't come exactly as we said. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you and I should do is we should start speculating on a giant pirate update, okay? Just something like totally random. And let's see if it catches fire.
Oh
Okay,
my gosh, can we... Oh, I don't know if I should say this. Some of the AC content creators are on their own weird level.
Wait, what? What happened?
Just...
Wait, what? Why? How did pirates spark this?
Because you said that we should make up something and then see if it gains traction. And I've just seen similar things where people say things and then it's like, I've seen websites report, there's a new this in the community. And it's like, I don't know.
Wait, there's a new what?
Like, look, whenever we've said something, it is based on either past games, past updates, or data mines. We're not just saying, like you said, oh, guess what? Gracie is coming back. Big rumor. Like, we don't just... It's not pulled out of thin air.
Yeah. Now, I don't know where we stand as far as 2.0. I don't know where I ever stood on 2.0, but I don't think 2.0 is going to happen.
You think they're just going to forever go 1.12, 1.13?
I think so. I really think so. I don't know if they, unless it's used as like a marketing thing, I don't really see them ever going 2.0. Are you still on board with that?
It makes a whole lot of sense, but
yeah, you're saying the game is 90% done.
Because to me, look how much is in the game. There's Flick and there's CJ and there's Luna and there's Pascal. So if you add Brewster or you add Katrina, that's not 50% of the game, right? Like that's, as you mentioned, 10% is still a substantial chunk. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that you and I are two of the few people that put our face to our videos every single time.
Yeah.
I think that is why we are attributed with some of this stuff. I think there's a face, there's a personality, there's a name, there's an individual, and it's much easier to have someone to blame or someone to get, on the contrary, someone to get excited with than if it's just a voice. And there's nothing wrong with audio-only commentary, but if you look at the AC community, one thing that is pretty consistent, contrary to a lot of the other YouTube spaces, is there's not a lot of faces. We struggle to get guests on this show because people don't want to show their face.
That's true.
So from that standpoint, I think the fact that, I'll speak for myself. My enthusiasm, my kind of more bold personality draws more flack than if I'm just going to sit here and comment on things. And there's no right or wrong. One's not better or different, but it does bring the opportunity to say, hey, that guy, Pat with the backwards hat, screw him for talking about the update. Zach with the stupid blonde hair, who does he think he is?
I'm just laughing because I'm picturing Zach driving down the highway and someone's yelling out their window, "Where's Brewster, you idiot?" That was amazing. That's amazing. I can't keep a straight face now. Yeah, that's true. I feel like the whole face versus no face thing, the only thing I'll say about that is, as a viewer of content, I love when I can see someone like expressing themselves and like, yeah, I can't get too, I don't know. I don't know what it is, actually.
It's just, a lot of it's just
invested,
nonsense.
I guess.
We see a lot of people in the chat, and thank you for all your support, by the way, for both of us, saying, like, don't worry about them, they're just trolls. I have people saying, like, you make 4 videos a day on Animal Crossing. Like, dude, I've made 1 video a week for the last 3 weeks. So, like, there's just, I think one of the best lessons that you can learn for YouTube and maybe any career is you got to ignore almost all of it. Like you hear people, motivational people, inspirational people, life coaches, they always say, like, you want to pay as little attention to the hate as to the love. You don't want to get your head too big and you don't want to get, too down in the dumps. And obviously we pay a lot of attention to the good stuff, but I'm just saying you can't let your life, your content, your channel, your outlook be dictated by these back and forths with, viewers. You don't know where they're at, what kind of day they had, where they're coming from, what their experience is. So my videos will not be changing. So I will be predicting the next update, and I will be excited for the next update. And when it happens, we can, where are you? High five.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm still going to be doing predictions too. Literally, and this is the real funny thing to me. My entire channel 4 years ago, before I even like really cared about Animal Crossing, my channel started with speculation. I was making videos about like, when's the next F-Zero game? Like, I've always loved doing this. It's like you were talking about with sports. I love talking about like the what ifs. Yeah. So this ain't new for me. It's just more people have eyes on me, I guess. So now they're saying things. I don't know.
Eyes all over you, up and down.
Yeah, all over me. Some look back on my older videos. Aunt Bacon says,
tank season. When does tank season officially start, by the way? Are we there yet? It's not officially summer, or do we have to wait?
Tank season is a specific science. So when it's 75 degrees, it is acceptable to wear tank tops. Okay. Anything below that, you're a psychopath.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. Good to know.
Aunt Bacon says, when in 2022 do you think Breath of the Wild 2 will be released? This is, I think, a big question mark. And, I hated the wording that they used.
Aiming.
That ain't good.
Bow and arrow. Where is it going to land? It feels like they are setting it up for like a holiday thing, which stinks, but that's what it feels like they're setting up. I think that if they were sure it was going to hit in that opening quarter, they would have let us know. And I think if you don't get you got 2 directs. I think the fall direct and then like the early January, February direct. But if there's no date by then, that is going to be their holiday game. But if I had to bet, it pains me to say it, but if I had to put money, yeah, November 14th, 2022.
I'm pretty scared, man. Last time I was predicting Zelda releases, they got delayed like what, 3 years? I don't like the aiming thing. I honestly thought this game was like packed, shipped, and ready to go in like a warehouse somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm very surprised the wording. The game looks fantastic. I love the direction that they went in with the skies. I was thinking the opposite. I thought it was gonna be like caves and stuff like that. Yeah, I would say like holiday 2022, if that. But
ooh, you might need to adopt Link's look. He's got that long flowy hair. Let it all down.
Man, it looks so good, and it looks like I didn't want them to change too much. I feel like the game was perfect as it is. So, Truffles with the question.
How'd you even let this in here?
Yeah, I don't know. We let garbage in, apparently. What's your opinion about Just Dance? I'm curious, Snouty. They're really committing to the role. I am Peppy, so don't upset me, Snouty.
I mean, I don't care about Just Dance. Sorry. It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's really annoying to have to mute the segments and the directs and your streams. I don't know if you did that, but I was like, oh, God.
I did, yeah.
Don't want to get
I wasn't going to let that.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. My biggest takeaway is that Just Dance released like 2 years ago on the Wii, like the newest Just Dance, like 2 years ago.
Big seller.
Yeah, it's a great party game. I remember playing it way back. I'm talking like 07, 06, maybe. Never really picked up. I feel like just the type of music is not really my jam. Like,
I had the DDR pads at one point for my PlayStation 2.
Damn.
Yeah, that was as far as my exploration in dancing goes. Dancing is one of the only things that I have zero comfortability with. Like you could not pay me to publicly dance.
Yeah, me neither. No, absolutely not. I'll make jokes all night. I'll keep refilling your cup, I guess, but I'm not dancing. Okay. Let's see. Let me just read some of these, because some of these are long.
All right.
Andrew says, one theory I've always bounced back and forth with was, even though Animal Crossing was going to be popular, Nintendo never thought it'd get to this magnitude, and they never had a plan to throw big updates to this game, just small updates like we're seeing now. Is Nintendo scrambling now as they see fans are expecting it to create content to support? I know it's hard to think Nintendo would think that way, but the signs are starting to point in that direction, especially with the recent announcement. Love your thoughts.
It would seem so silly, but they could be.
You think they're scrambling?
I mean, it was very weird to me that Resident Evil Village, a sequel to a game that got a lot of DLC and was very successful, had 0 DLC planned. They announced that Capcom, they said, hey, due to the support of the game and you guys' demand for it, we're going to start making some DLC. I don't know. I'm always baffled by video game companies and what they decide to do, but I mean, to me, the more plausible scenario is like, oh gosh, the pandemic really threw a wrench in development. Remember, this game was delayed, 4 months in the beginning. Maybe they were behind on certain content, and then it was like, okay, how are we going to just try to scramble to keep these updates coming? And we'll never know, but I would love to think that's why we got to blog posts. I'd love to think that trailers will return.
Yeah. Ashley calling me out because apparently Just Dance released for the first time in 2009. Listen, everything pre-college is just a blur to me, okay? I won't say anything more. Okay. Scrambling, I don't think so. I feel like the game released half-baked anyway. Like they had plans for up until probably the Mario stuff. So maybe a little bit now. Maybe they were thinking like over the past year to like what could we add more. So I don't know. Nintendo is a company that I don't see scrambling. I feel like they're smart about a lot of
Normally,
things.
but what about lockdown, work from home,
Yeah.
closed offices?
I mean, my only thing is, and I keep saying this, is maybe they have something substantial that they have been working on or had planned because of the success, and that has kind of been put on hold over the past year or something. I don't know how long it takes to make a giant update like the one I'm thinking of, but that could be a thing. That could definitely be a thing. So maybe they've had to delay it a little bit, but let's see.
It would be very hard because so much of Animal Crossing updates are like tied to the season, so delaying an update would be just total suck. Like, crap, we didn't get the holiday update now. What do we do? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Let's see. A Clover asks over in Discord, what do you guys think about WarioWare? And also, which villager would you keep if you had to toss one away?
I'm most just loving that you call it WarioWare.
Wario?
Wario.
WarioWare? Well, how do you say the word Tour?
Tour.
How do you say it?
Tour.
Okay. Yeah, that's where we separate. I say tour. Okay.
A tour? I tore my
going on a tour.
jeans. Going on a tour.
Let me tour this for you.
I was watching a video of how people speak in Baltimore, and that was my entertainment for a good week.
Oof.
Yeah, they've got some dialect. It was the phrase was like down by the ocean, and the people were saying Danny Ocean. And I was like, what? They're like, it said Bel Air Road, and they were saying Blair Road. It's like, dang, if we have any Baltimore? Yeah, if we have any Baltimore, Maryland fans out there, kudos
Baltimore
to you guys.
Baltimore is just I was watching this recent like documentary on YouTube. It's about the park called Leakin Park, Leakin. And this park is notorious for like dumping bags with things in them.
Oh.
Yeah, at least like over 100 bags of things. I'm trying to keep this like PG,
Sure.
but yeah, Baltimore, I wanted to visit before, but y'all are crazy there. Y'all are crazy. So what do you think about WarioWare?
WarioWare. I was excited for it. I mean, it was kind of hinted, leaked, whatever you want to say, via that survey. I love that they're using the $50 price point. I think the co-op nature seems really cool. It could be like sort of this year's Snipper Clips. It is weird to see these games that were handheld franchises making their way to Switch. I'm curious what they do to kind of expand upon it, but like, it's not really like it's not going to sell 20 million copies or be a YouTube hit, but like that's a day one purchase for me. I'm excited.
Yeah, same. Day one. Yes, it was Dan Bell. Dan Bell, one of my favorite YouTubers.
And it's got beautiful box art, by the way. Amazingly colorful box art.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, WarioWare is fantastic. I actually have I have the one on the Wii U, and the Wii U one isn't really a traditional one. It's like mini games rather than like micro games. I checked the price of that. It's going for like $120. I don't know what's up with pandemic prices, but yeah, I always love this. I feel like this is one of the franchises that if you want to see like tons of personality in a game, this is the one. Like it's perfect for the Switch. I'm surprised it didn't come out earlier.
Yes.
And what was the question? Which villager would you keep if you had to toss one away? I don't know what that means.
Like, who's your favorite villager, basically? Who are you keeping if you had to get rid of the rest? Like, you know those things that say, like, you can only keep one. Or
it's me and Eric.
Yeah.
Me and Eric hanging out. Yeah. For you, it's
Cranston.
Still Cranston?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, my island, I think they all forgot I existed, but, you know, it's still Cranston.
Okay. Fast Freddy says, for holidays, what new items would you want to see? Because that's almost... Is that... I know, like, you're a little scared to make predictions now. Is that 100% confirmed for you? New holiday items?
I think so. I mean, we've now seen it effectively, twice in a row with Wedding and...
All I'm saying... Guy, you think I'm a nice guy now, but, like, if Museum Day got an update and Halloween doesn't, I'm gonna be toxic real quick. Okay.
Looking forward to it. I will book that Nook Talk somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. I want to see trick or treat pails that you can carry. Okay.
Candy tossing.
I would love that.
Like the flower.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see that.
I want to see more clothing more than items for holidays. Masks and stuff would be great.
That'd be cool. Also, there's a very there's a lot of pumpkin focused Halloween stuff. I want to see ghosts. I want to see mummies. I want the whole monster shebang. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm down.
Yeah. For Christmas, I don't really know. I feel like they did a really good job. I feel like Toy Day, they did a great job with it. Maybe snowballs that you can throw. Something like fun like that. Did you say your Christmas things? I don't even know.
No, I don't really know for Christmas. They had so many good toys and items, but again, I think they probably still add 4, 5, 6 more.
Yeah. Andrew, again, thoughts on Super Monkey Ball? That excited me, but is it something you guys would stream? Bought Breath of the Wild today on Nintendo eShop since it's on sale. Oh my god. Buying Breath of the Wild for the first time? Oh my god, that's amazing. Super Monkey Ball for me is a day one. I'm a little bit annoyed because I recently picked up the first 2 original ones on the GameCube, which were a little expensive right now, but yeah, day one for me. I've already actually pre-ordered, and I never pre-order games. I pre-ordered that game and I pre-ordered Metroid.
I like Monkey Target a lot. That's like my favorite thing. The mini game where you fly and land on the little circular runways. But I was under the impression it was a brand new game. I was a bit bummed that it's just remasters. We talked about like, okay, they're just recycling a lot of things. I'll still end up probably getting it just because I have a lot of nostalgia. I remember being at the Cube Club, which was this event that Nintendo hosted at a number of cities around the States before the GameCube released. And I woke up at like 5 in the morning with my dad, and we went there and we waited in line and got to play Luigi's Mansion, Smash Bros. Melee, Monkey Ball, Rogue Squadron. And I remember I liked Monkey Ball a lot, but I was like, I've never heard of this game. I don't know what it is. And on launch day, I decided to get Luigi's Mansion and Rogue Squadron 2. And I really regretted getting Rogue Squadron 2 instead of Monkey Ball because I burned out on Rogue Squadron fast. But when I picked up Monkey Ball, it was a great game for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, the mini games were always the best part for Monkey Ball. And the rest was kind of bonus. Katie says, you guys made a video that said Christmas sucks. I don't get it. It's also back and forth, and I think that's where people get frustrated. I think the items were great. The event sucked. Well, I think that's the...
We tried to talk about this earlier. I don't understand why you can't have nuanced opinion. Why can't we think that some part of Christmas sucked and the items were good, or that we think this update was bad and this update was good? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think from like the viewer perspective. Is it just confusing because maybe they're not seeing all of our videos? Maybe they're showing up in search differently? If Nintendo has one direct and I think it's bad, then me saying their next direct is good, like those don't even correlate. So of course it was going to be disappointing when AC didn't pop up in the direct, but then it's exciting when Doug Bowser talks about it. Like, that to me is just very simple logic.
Yeah. I think it's also like we're in the receipt era. So like if Zach predicts something, you would have a receipt for it. But if it's the other way around, like people get receipts. I don't know. Yeah, I do. My opinions have changed, even on like simple things like villagers. I used to hate frog villagers. Now I freaking love half of them.
Yeah.
Now there are still a few that are disgusting
liar.
every way.
You completely led us astray. You got us all hyped for frog villagers and
frog hate.
Gosh.
Yeah. Let's see some earlier questions. You can still put some in the chat. All right. Ooh, this is a good one. Arsenic Lime says, what have you learned about yourself thanks to AC, and how are you applying these lessons to your life and personal growth? Look at that.
What have I learned about my life?
I'll start.
Yeah,
it definitely... I mean, I've always been creative because I was a pastry chef and I had to like come up with things and things like, so I think AC just like solidified that because I was doing it in another space besides a kitchen. So like I found through AC, I'm a pretty creative guy. The other thing is, and this is kind of like, the big picture, AC obviously blew up the channel. So I was about to quit the channel. So I feel like it really like solidify, like, if you want something, just to go after it 100%.
There you go.
You know, and I found like a little opportunity because of the pandemic, and yeah, it's nice to see results. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think I get, like, for me the creative part is fun, but I get, I think, most of the joy just out of like the colorful charm of it all. I still like things that are very happy and upbeat. On a more practical side, like, I really added a lot more edits thanks to Animal Crossing videos, like the quick intros and like interesting segments. You know, now I'm lighting stuff on fire and starting in complete darkness, and, you know, doing more fun stuff like that. And it has carried over to other aspects of my channel, so that was definitely a positive. Yeah.
This is a good one.
My life will be a lot more effective if Brewster comes.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, I'm on the bird side of things. Maybe I get a bird. Maybe I become a bird. You know.
Let's see.
Yeah, Ashley says, doing a get ready with me. That was 100% fueled by Animal Crossing. Life changing.
Mm-hmm. This is a good one by Kirsten here. Mm-hmm. What song or artist do you like but rarely admit to liking?
Oh boy.
I feel like you don't really. I know that you like hip hop.
Yes.
But you don't really dive into it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not the answer.
I mean, that's all I really listen to is rap, but I'm trying to go through my iTunes and see if there's anything else. I mean, I don't think people know that much about me, so I guess I don't go into any of it, but I think I'm guessing something a little more embarrassing-ish.
I don't know if it would be embarrassing. Wait, what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think mine is Michael Jackson. I freaking love Michael Jackson. And not just like the hits either. I can get saucy to whatever that means to you. To Michael Jackson, I just feel like he's good, man. You know, listen, if you want to give Beatles all the hype, Michael Jackson deserves the hype. Greatest.
That means something very, very, very intense to me.
Okay.
I think it's interesting that there's some people that, like, they only get saucy with music. That's not really my style, but like one of my best friends is like that completely. You know, outside of you, Pat. Much love, but I don't really like anything except, I mean, Taylor Swift, but I don't feel like that's like anything like secret. It's just because like the birthday thing, I was like, oh, let's start listening to this music, and like some of her stuff's good, but I'm not a huge fan. There's an era that I like, and that's about it.
Okay.
But Michael Jackson's cool.
I'm not embarrassed by Michael Jackson. I just feel like when people think of me, they think of like Blink, Angels and Airwaves, like pop punk.
My favorite thing is when I see you talk about these bands, I have no idea who they are or what they do. I'm like, Angels and Airwaves.
Blink 182?
I mean, I know who Blink 182 is, but a lot of like Purity Ring, I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Sounds like something my Catholic grandma would give to my aunt.
And like I'm not actively listening to Michael Jackson all the time, but I definitely like appreciate
can
like.
Can we get a Michael Jackson impression? Or
the next question is, I'm not gonna roast them. Let's see. Okay. Hey Pat and Zach, couldn't caves in Breath of the Wild 2 still be a thing? Maybe the floating earth pieces has revealed caves in the ground. Assume the earth pieces is parts of the ground that is lifted to the sky.
Well, we did see Zelda fall into a very deep, dark pit, so maybe Link does have to go down there and grab her. I mean, they asked Nintendo, like, hey, like, you know, about the map and about the game elements, and they basically said, like, we haven't shown you, like, how different this game is yet, but we're confident that it is a whole new game. It's not, oh, Breath of the Wild with a few new activities. And I think some people had some concerns based on the trailer, like, oh, maybe they just added a few sky elements. I don't know if it's going to be down in caves, but I think there definitely will be plenty of new areas. I mean, by the time it comes out, it's going to be like 6 years of development. So
yeah,
they better have some new stuff.
I feel like this Breath of the Wild, well, whatever it's called, I think there's going to be a bigger emphasis on story, and I think I feel like the things that people were nitpicking about the first one, I think the first one is near perfect. There are some things critiques that I can kind of understand from people. The music isn't as good. Hot take, the shrines I like better than dungeons. it keeps the gameplay flowing. It fits with the bigger world. But I think this sequel, unfortunately, well, fortunately, if you like that, but I think they're going to have more focus of a story, more dungeons. Like, I think it's going to be more traditional in that sense, but still the open world. But first one for me, that does it. Nicole with the 5 says, I'm curious if either of you will play Skyward Sword on your channel. Also asking, pretty please.
You're not getting it. I saw based on your Pat's chart. I will. I'll play it. I didn't play a ton of it on Wii, so I'm excited to give it a go. It's also one of the only campaign-based games coming out this year for Nintendo. Mario Party, WarioWare, Advance Wars. I mean, you can, I guess, play through them by yourself, but they're not really targeted in that direction. So Metroid and Skyward Sword are probably going to be two that I do.
Yeah. So go check out Zach's channel for that. I just feel like I'm in this like place where old games becoming new again, they could be fine if there's love and care taken to like enhance them. So like Monkey Ball, for example, day one, because they've redone everything. Advance Wars, I didn't talk about that, but like that's another one that they put in time and effort and things like that. But when you like blatantly release, like the only improvements they've done with Skyward Sword is like that fast travel thing and button controls.
Right.
It's lazy. It is lazy.
So what
we
do
don't
you
like
say
to say
about
that.
Animal Crossing, a game that lost features when they re-released it?
Another hot take here. I think that this game is way better than New Leaf. If you guys are complaining about New Horizons, play New Leaf for like 100 hours and come back to me. Look at your inventory. Look at the amount of items that you can place on the ground. New Leaf was good in a lot of ways. It was like a more livelier Animal Crossing. There was a lot more characters that you could, interact with, but the dialogue was a little bit better with the villagers too. But in terms of like what you guys like, designing, cores, villager hunts, none of that existed in New Leaf.
Yeah.
New Leaf's a great game, but like New Horizons is leaps and bounds. Like I hate that comparison so much, Zach. It's like New Leaf didn't have this.
I agree with you.
But like, yeah, there's so much improvement. Yeah.
I agree.
Let's see. We'll take a couple more questions and then we'll end it off here. Go play City Folk. The first Animal Crossing, like everything has just been streamlined and it feels a little dead. And I think Nintendo may be relying on the fact that, but Pat, you're on a stranded island. You're on an abandoned island. This is your getaway. But no, I want the getaway's over, bro. I want to talk to Brewster. There was a good question by Amy. Amy's a nice mod that we have. And she says, what do you both recommend for people with burnout? I haven't picked up my Switch in a few weeks and it's began collecting dust.
A new game.
Yeah.
There's a massive sale going on right now.
Yes, I was going to say that. Like, go on the eShop. The prices on games are pretty crazy. And there are games like similar to Animal Crossing. I'm kind of fortunate because I'm like a content creator, so I can like just play Animal Crossing when I'm making videos and stuff. But I've been playing some games. It's fun. Let's see. Catherine says, hot take question. If Skyward Sword is lazy, then how is the Mario Party with old maps not? Ooh, I love this. Well, Catherine? Wait, yeah, you can answer that.
One, the graphics are redone for Mario Party, whereas the graphics are just enhanced for Skyward Sword. They're just tuning up the resolution as opposed to, like, they redid those mini games and those boards. Two, it's bringing in a lot of new elements with online. It's bringing new characters like Rosalina back to the 64 era. It is mixing up the mini games and putting them across different boards where they normally wouldn't belong. It's optimizing the boards, the routes, the paths, the junctions. It's adding new activities to the boards. It brought like the item shop from Mario Party 2 to boards from Mario Party 1. So it is also a remake, but the more I've looked in that game, the more I'm impressed that it does feel like they, of all the remakes we saw, Advance Wars is pretty much a one-to-one with cool new graphics. Skyward Sword is a one-to-one with button controls. Mario Party, it feels like they are, spinning it around a bit. And I think it's getting the most TLC of any of those games coming this year to Switch.
Yeah. Not to take anything from what Zach said, but I think the new Mario Party game is lazy. But listen, I'm a Mario Party simp. I'll buy anything Mario Party. And for years, if you've been following Mario Party as close as I have, they've been lost. They've like released some stinkers. Even the last game wasn't. I mean, the mini games were great, but the boards were terrible. There was only 4 of them. So this is the step in the right direction, and I feel like because they're lost, they're relying on past games and like past mini games.
What's the one where they all went in the same car? That's the one where I like couldn't. I think I played one round. And
I think that was 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Or like no, that was 9 and 10.
Yeah, it's 10. One of those.
Guys, if you're gonna ever not buy a game, Mario Party 10 is the game to never buy. It's awful. There's no strategy at all. Like it's bad. Jay Chatter says all remakes are a waste of development efforts, in my opinion.
Au contraire, it's the greatest use of development because it's the biggest chance to make like money over hours. Like it's the best.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the best input output.
I think. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot. I don't know like number wise how big Nintendo's teams are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really easy to like re-release a game and like people have nostalgia with it. So it's like you already have marketing for it. You know, people know it's a good game. I just don't like the trend. Company does it. So, and even movies do it. They rehash old movies, sequels. Like
yeah. In a perfect world, we would get all new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I guess, hey, if you don't like remakes, don't buy them. The best way you can vote on these things is not on the YouTube comments. It's with your wallet and with your dollars.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, I support it too. Like it is lazy, but you know,
I don't think Mario Party's lazy. I can see Skyward Sword being lazy, but Mario, they like those new graphics. If you look at the minigames side by side, like they're did
amazing.
Serious work. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I'm just in terms of like new ideas and things like that. It might be on the lazy side, but
it would be great if they revealed like a special mode or something that had new mini. You know what I mean? Like something. But yeah.
The whole Zelda thing, I think it's so jarring because of the effort that was put in the Mario stuff. Like we had a whole direct about it. And like from what they said, and unless they're like fibbing a little bit, it seems like I was expecting like Wind Waker, like
which journalists say you're still getting those, just not until next year. Yeah. And the word on the street, if people care about Zelda, is that they are holding Wind Waker and Twilight Princess in case Breath of the Wild takes longer, then they can like, oh, here's some Zelda. Mm-hmm. So that the reason that those aren't announced and out is because, if Breath of the Wild 2 isn't till holiday, well, we want some Zelda the first half of next year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see. Oh, we'll end on this because I feel like there's been a lot of talk about this. Valet over in Discord says, would you be okay with no more big updates if Nintendo was just straight up open about it? And I want to answer that, but at the same time, before you answer, Zach, this is never going to happen. Nintendo's never going to wake up one day and tweet out, well, guys, there you go. That's all we got. Like, they don't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
barring
them taking the game offline, like I don't think we'd ever hear from them. But it is an interesting point, and it is interesting to consider, like, is this nebulous waiting what's causing a lot of the stress? Yes, but I don't think them saying no more updates makes anyone any happier about it. I think, if anything, we're more up in arms because there still is that sliver of hope that they do deliver. And I think in the back of our minds, we all know they're going to give us some updates. Are they what we want? Maybe, maybe not. But like them acknowledging it's over, that shuts the door. And I think some people put the game down for good.
Yeah. I think it's either going to be like a finale at a fireworks show where they just unleash this big update and you're like, wow, this game is perfect. Like, good job. Like, thank you so much. I won't ask for anything else. Or it's just going to be like, you'll notice Nintendo, the only updates it gets is like bug fixes, you know, like certain little things like that. But yeah, you'll definitely know. There won't be any guessing, I think, after a while. Like right now we're guessing just because we know something is coming, but like in 3-4 years, I don't think I'm going to be making like speculation videos, but that's what I had to say on that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 39. It feels good to be back, Zach. I don't know. Man. I'm going to be transparent with you guys, just like Nintendo was a little bit. I don't know when episode 40 is going to be, and I really want it to be next week because it's such a big number, but like, realistically, the show would probably be a lot like this.
Look maybe forward to more to come with fun activities planned for all 110,000 of you.
Look forward to more to come. I do think that we are going to get something to talk about within the next few weeks or so.
Yeah.
But we might, I don't know, maybe one week we might do like a straight up Q&A type thing. But
we need to start doing some like man, it's too bad we live so far. I say we need to start doing some like Nook Talk, like in real, like IRL, where we're like, all right, today we're going to a high ropes course, or today we're gonna go do a baking challenge or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, since Frenemies is done, we could kind of
exactly
take that mantle. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Leave a like on the way out. Make sure to subscribe to me and Zach. Zach's channel is in the description. And we will see you when we see you. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.